The path to Extreme Rules begins. What is up, guys? Chase Oliver here, bringing you my WWE RAW review for the April 6, 2015 edition. Let's get started with this one. So Raw kicked off tonight with none other than The Authority. It wouldn't be an episode of Raw without The Authority kicking off the show. Seth Rollins, Big Show, and Kane cut the usual Authority promo how they're going to dominate the WWE and no one's going to stop them. Then all of a sudden, my boy, Randall Keith Orton, comes out and says, Seth, I beat you. I deserve a title match. And then Kane all of a sudden is like, well, I have GM powers, even though I barely fucking use them, but I do have them. And so tonight, we are going to have a triple threat main event match for the winner to face Seth Rollins for his WWE Heavyweight Championship. And that triple threat match will be featuring Ryback, the Cockfist, and Randall Keith Orton. Hold on, people. Hold on. I might be having a heart attack here. The Chase Oliver boys are fighting for a chance at the WWE Heavyweight title? Oh. And not only that, I got to see my boys not once tonight, but twice. Yeah, that's right, because they were all booked for double duty. Randy Orton took on Kane. Ryback took on Luke Harper. The Cockfist, he took on Big Show. But it didn't matter to me, because I was saying to myself, fuck yeah, I get to see my boys. I get to see my boys show all you people out there that these men can go. They can go 2 matches, and they proved it tonight. As for the individual matches itself, who gives a fuck? Really, who cares? Kane freaking got himself disqualified. Whoop-de-doo. Ryback and Harper had the same match they've been having for weeks now. And Cockfist and Big Show went on a little bit too damn long, but I didn't give a shit. They all won. They all looked magnificent. And they all set up very, very well for the triple threat main event tonight on Monday Night Raw. So this week, the WWE decided the best way to use the Divas is in a good old tag team match. Oh, baby. A long, boring, dull tag team match where I still don't really give a crap about any of their characters. Nor do I give a crap about a Divas Battle Royale that Naomi is going to win. Yeah, come on, WWE. You can do a little bit better with the Divas division. I mean, yeah, sure, you're giving them much more time in their matches, but really, to be honest here, I don't care what these women are doing because you don't have any, and I repeat, any interesting characters for me to care about in the division. The John Cena Open Challenge thing, I'm just mixed on it. At one point, I like it because, you know, the United States title is being defended more. It does make the title kind of feel somewhat more important, but at the same time, I don't like it because it kind of takes away from the pay-per-view feuds that John Cena could have in the future with a bunch of the guys that he's probably facing. And not only that, it kind of just screams to me like the WWE doesn't know how to write for Cena versus Rusev going forward. It's just like they're sitting there with their thumbs in the ass being like, oh shit, what do we do for Cena versus Rusev at Extreme Rules? Let's just have John beat up a bunch of mid-carders and Rusev, he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. We'll just keep on trucking along and they'll have their match at Extreme Rules. That's just how it feels like to me. And with all the build that Cena and Rusev got at Fastlane and at WrestleMania, you would think they would put a little bit more effort into the rematch at Extreme Rules. But it just doesn't feel like it. I mean, hell, Rusev wasn't even on the show tonight. As for Cena versus Stardust, it was what it was. It's a typical John Cena match with a new springboard stunner move added to his list. All hail U.S. champion John Cena. I really loved how WWE used some of their stars here tonight. I really, really did. Let's first take a look at Neville. Okay, look. Name aside, it's a bad fucking name. But you know what the WWE does? After debuting on Raw last week, you know, in a short match against Curtis Axel, you would think that Neville, he would just be regulated to wrestle the Fandangos, the Zack Ryders, the Heath Slaters of the world. But no. The WWE, they're trying to make Neville feel like a big deal. They're trying to show that they actually care about this guy. And let's hope the WWE does this in the future. Because Seth Rollins, after pissing off Kane, was ordered to have a match here tonight. Seth Rollins goes and he's facing off against the new WWE superstar Neville. And I know a lot of the internet, they just love this match. It's Tyler Black versus Pac, but that wasn't it for me. That wasn't the main reason why I like this matchup. I mean, yeah, it kind of helped that these guys can go in the ring, but the reason why I liked it so much because they're actually treating a new star like he's some type of big deal. They're actually trying to give you a reason why you should get behind this guy. Because normally when WWE brings up new stars, they just face a bunch of jobbers and you're like, ooh, who gives a fuck? Like, really, who gives a fuck that he's beating up Zack Ryders of the world? You don't care. But you do care if this guy goes in a good match against the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And that's what they did, and they booked it correctly. They had Seth Rollins go over because it would make no sense for Neville to get a win here. That would just be making his star way too big. That would just give us way too much high hopes for him if he were to pin Seth Rollins here. They did a good thing. They made it where Neville showed that he's a tough customer, and they're building Neville up, to me at least, the right way. I really, really like this segment, not only for what it was, just because a new guy was facing the champion who's a very established star for the company, but also because it was something called a fresh matchup. I haven't seen this before. This is not like the usual WWE stuff where it's like, I already seen this match, I don't really care, let me just go do something else, I'll just have it playing on in the background. This was actually a fresh matchup between two guys, and this was a good way to establish a new star. Let's just hope the WWE keeps on the good pacing that they're doing with Neville, because right now, I'm truly believing that the WWE is actually doing something right with the character. Holy crap. Chase is being positive in a review. Chase is really being hopeful in a review. The apocalypse must be fucking happening. So WWE, please, 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 please keep what you're doing with Neville. Just do it. Trust me, he's a good superstar. Good talent. Watch out for Neville, people. But anyways, like I said, one of my favorite segments of. And then when we look at Sheamus, oh my god. Look at what they did with Sheamus, man. I love this new Sheamus. He's pretty much Batista. And did you not hear his promo? What happened to all the real men in this company? That's Batista. He's copying Batista. He has the spotlight on him when he enters the ring. I love it. I love this new Sheamus. And I love how the WWE solidified him. I mean, instead of having where Dolph Ziggler or Daniel Bryan comes out to eat the pinfall, no, they have Mark Henry come out, solidifying Sheamus is a real man, solidifying that Sheamus is a tough guy. Because, yeah, you know, Mark Henry not been booked really, really well as of late, but hey, at least, you know, they made Sheamus look fucking good in this segment. Way to establish a good monster heel. And, you know, if this Sheamus character keeps on going, I wouldn't be surprised if they give him the belt by next year or later this year in 2015. I'm being dead honest here. I'm really liking this Sheamus. Like I said, it's just pretty much like Batista, except with an Irish accent, fella. I'm the new face of fear. Accept me. Alright, guys. Look, I told y'all I was losing to The Undertaker. I said I was going to lose. I didn't say I was going to win the match. I told y'all I was going to job out to The Undertaker and still be an inconsequential character in the WWE, but that doesn't matter, guys, because I'm back with another long, repetitive, boring promo for you guys. But you're going to eat it up anyways. You're all going to love it. You're all going to sit there and admire the words that I speak from my mouth. To the next guy that I'm entering a feud with, just know, look at what happened to The Undertaker. I put him over. And I'm gonna put you over too, cause I'm the new face of fear. I don't beat up anyone. I don't do anything. All I do is talk in the dark. You get kind of lonely here, guys. You can. Accept me. I'm Bray Wyatt. So Miz and Mizdow had their match here on Raw tonight, which really, really upsetted me. Because if you figured, if these guys were ever going to flip and touch, they would touch at the pay-per-view. You would figure you would build, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 pay-per-views around this feud. But no, they kind of gave us a pay-per-view match that should have happened at Extreme Rules in a short freaking time span here on Monday Night Raw. That's what really upsets me about this. You know, I get it. Some people will be like, oh, you know, the match was short, Chase. You can't really complain. But really, to be honest, these two deserve fucking better. They deserve better than the short freaking crappy match that they had here on Raw tonight. They deserve to be able to go out there on a pay-per-view setting and have a much more longer, much more story-paced match where the Miz wins, and then you go on the next pay-per-view to have Mizdow win, and then you have either at one more pay-per-view or you end it there. But instead, they wasted what could be a good pay-per-view quality match for them on Monday Night Raw. And not only that, just didn't get enough time to tell any type of proper story. The ending was correct. Yes, the Miz should have won the first encounter between Miz and Mizdow. But really, to be honest, it just felt like there needed to be so much more, and I just didn't get that much more, and that really upsets me because I enjoy both of these characters and what they do, and it's sad that the WWE couldn't give them enough time to make me actually care about them. Alrighty then, main event time as Randy Orton, Ryback, and the Cockfist all go at it in a triple threat, and you guys already know. I was locked and loaded. I was watching this match. I was happy whoever won this match. Any of my boys could have won, and I would have just been fine with it. I would have just been sitting there being like, well, that makes a good title match. Because really, to be honest, that's the beauty of having Seth Rollins as WWE Champion. Anyone he feuds with, it kind of makes sense. Hey, if he feuds with Ryback and, you know, the whole authority storyline that they had going there back in November, it makes sense. He feuds with Roman Reigns, a.k.a. the Cockfist, yeah, it makes sense. Former Shield buddies, plus Seth Rollins, you know, cashing at WrestleMania, costing Roman Reigns his moment. And, you know, with Randy Orton recently won at WrestleMania, so it makes sense for Seth Rollins to feud with all three of these guys. But the one thing that I had a problem with in this match, just one thing, and that was seeing Big Show beat up Cockfist. Because that means Cockfist is going to feud with the Big Show at Extreme Rules. Who thought this was a good idea? Who thought that we would want to see Cockfist versus the Big Show? I don't care when they wrestle on Raw. What makes you think, WWE, that I will give a shit if they wrestle at the pay-per-view? Oh, God. Oh, God. But it was okay. Because at the end of the day, my ultimate boy, Randall Keith Orton, is now the new #1 contender for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. That was the only shining glimmer to me. Seth Rollins beats up Randy after the match, holds the title up high. The heel looks strong at the end, and that was the ending to Monday Night Raw. But seriously, WWE, why are you giving us Big Show and Roman Reigns? We don't want to see that. We don't want to see the Cockfist take on the Big Show. Okay? No. Let's give Cockfist someone else. I don't care if he's facing Bray Wyatt. You know, Bray Wyatt can go feud with Cockfist for all I care. That sounds a little bit more interesting than seeing the Cockfist face Big Show. I will say with this Raw that this Raw was a much better effort from the WWE than in most recent history when it comes to Monday Night Raws, especially building for the pay-per-view. But really, to be honest, like I said, most of these feuds kind of feel lazy. I really like that they try to build new stars here with, you know, Neville, and, you know, they really did a good job getting heel Sheamus over. But some of the stuff tonight was like, really, did we needed like Cockfist, Ryback, and Orton double booked? I mean, I enjoyed it, but did any of you guys really enjoy seeing these guys wrestle twice in one night? And like, where was our Intercontinental Champion? I'm just saying, I mean, where was Daniel Bryan? Where was Rusev? Where were all these other guys? Dean Ambrose didn't even make an appearance on Raw, and normally his dumbass is doing something. So it just really felt like the WWE, they could have done a little bit more in showcasing more talent on this week's episode of Raw. You know, I really like the story progression that they're doing with Extreme Rules. I felt the show flowed somewhat nicely, but not enough for me. It was, you know, better than average. Like, I wouldn't say I hated this Raw, but it wasn't like a Raw that I'm going to remember or go back to watching. That's for damn sure. Well, most of these Raws, you can't really say that. But for the most part, better than average Raw for the WWE. But what did you guys think of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw? Comment down below your thoughts with your opinions on this week's show. If you guys like me, hit that big old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Follow me on Twitter at ChaseOver68. I'll see you all next time. Enjoy your evening. Peace.